Hi guys, I'm a Forester here. This is the fifth in a series of videos that I'm making from these personal notes that I found in my father-in-law's belongings. The first video was about him enlisting in the Marines after the attack on Pearl Harbor, and the following videos will be about his time on Parris Island. After leaving boot training, I was at loose ends for several days. I was not assigned any duties, had no one to report to, and had no one to account for me. I couldn't go anywhere and couldn't do anything. For those several days I felt like a red-headed stepchild. My former drill instructor had told me where I could find a bunk and for me to stay close. When I located my bunk, I thought I would be the only one in that area. That night, what walks in but an old private with 5 or 6 hash marks on his sleeve and drunk as a coon. He immediately hops on me for being there and was determined to get me out of there. He goes over to the phone, dials it, and asks to speak to the commanding general E.P. Moses. Still on the phone, he goes into this story about me being in his building and wanted me to be taken out. He kept saying, "Yes, sir," as if he was responding to questions asked by the general. He finally said, "Yes, sir," in a little stronger voice and hung up. While walking back to the bunk, he was telling me what good friends he and E.P. Moses were, and what the general was going to do to get me out. He said the MPs would be here shortly to take me out. That old Coot had me worried for a while until I did a little thinking. Nobody can get in touch with the commanding general that easy. They would have had to go through an aide. Having thought that, I went over to the phone, picked it up, and it was dead as a doorknob. Finding that out, I went through the same routine the old private did, but ended the make-believe phone conversation thanking the general for his interest. That old Coot believed I had talked to the general and quieted down for a while. After 10 or 15 minutes, he must have realized that nothing was happening, so he again got cantankerous and boisterous. I got up, went to the door, and opened it, and there was a boot walking by on guard duty. I told him to get this old private and take him to another building that was used for showers, and that he did not have to watch him, and that the old Coot could leave when he thought he had been in there long enough. I thought that was one heck of a mess to run into my first day out of boot camp. It must have worked, because I never saw that old salty private again.